More like... Okay. No, not again. I swear, she comes back here and tries to like throw a book at me. I'm not gonna be okay with it. Jesus!
Hey, Jackson.
Don't sneak up on me like that. Have some manners, Megan.
I don't think that walking into a room counts as sneaking up on you. Oh, and why are you so jumpy?
I'm just keeping an eye out for Lorelai, all right? And her flying books of death.
She throws one book at you. And it didn't even hit you. It barely tapped you.
It hurt. I am so very happy to be introducing Jade Duplessis. She is the Public Information Officer for Plaquemines Parish, and she works very closely with our very own parish president. Thank you so very much, Jade, for coming on the show. Seriously, I cannot even express how much it means to me, and especially everyone here on the Buzz.
Well, I thank you, Jackson, and I thank you, the Buzz staff, for having me here today. Truly a pleasure.
Well, I'm glad to see that it goes both ways.
Yes.
Anyways, so I just need to get something like off my back. So I have to admit that I had never heard of your job position ever before this interview. I had no clue what it was until I looked into it and learned that you're basically the communication between the government, in this case, Mr. Kirk Lapine, and the media, which is a very interesting job. But I feel like you could explain it better. So could you elaborate a bit more to us about what your job is?
Absolutely, and I would love to. And Jackson, I'm not offended by any means. A lot of people don't know what a public information officer is. It may seem such an easy title, but the day-to-day activities some people may not know.
It seems terrifying to me.
Sometimes it is, but just the gist of it all, with my job specifically, I am in charge of providing detailed, accurate, and transparent information coming from Plaquemines Parish government, not just to the media, but also to our residents. So every day my job is different. I may come into the office, of course, my normal workday hours from 8 to 4:30 or 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, but that doesn't stop me from working all through the night sometimes, on weekends, holidays. So my job is ever changing.
So your job entails a lot more than what it would say on the fine print of paper.
Absolutely. It should say it's not limited to,
commitment and thereof.
Yes, absolutely. So fine details. So most of my day consists of writing press release and whatever events may be going on. If a crisis happens or President Lapine has to put out a statement or we have a rainstorm or whatever it may be, I have to be that first line of defense of getting that information to our residents, but I also have to be that voice to get that information to our news stations on behalf of Plaquemines Parish government. So it's not, if I ever thought that I would have a career where it's content-based, but also had to have a fine balance of providing information. So I do have fun information I could put out there, but I have to put out the good, the bad, and the ugly. So
it sounds definitely not easy, but definitely an exciting kind of lifestyle. One that takes a lot of balance and a lot of persistence. I'm guessing you go to so many different places in a single day that you can barely remember where you started at point A in the day and ended point B.
And that is true. And majority of my time in this role, I actually, it's been kind of difficult because more than a year of my job has been COVID based. So that traveling and going to a project.
All the CDC lines and developments with different medical centers being overrun or opening up for vaccinations, things like that.
Yes.
You have to cover it all.
Yes, you got it.
Well, it seems you have your plate full just a little bit. just a little bit. So, did you always want to become like the public information officer? It seems kind of like a weird career path to choose. Like, how did you come upon this career in the first place?
So, I actually have always wanted to be a news reporter. That's something that I have spoke into my life since I was young. I would walk around the house with just paper and pen, and clearly I'm a talker. So
yes, absolutely. I can see you doing that.
Yes,
100%.
absolutely. So I've always wanted to be a news reporter, but it's funny, my career path was very different. When I went to college, I was a biology major, and I had a few years where I was like, wow, this isn't for me, but a life-changing event happened in my life, and it gave me the confidence that I needed to pursue my dream in communications. And yes, I'm not an anchor, or I'm not a reporter in the conventional sense of working for a station, but at the end of the day, I kind of feel like I'm still living out that dream of being a news giver, not necessarily a news reporter.
You give them the information that they need to tell the public, which is a very important job.
Yes, and it's
especially
always
for the news.
Yeah, and it's always nice to see when I'm able to give that information to news reporters that I've built rapport with over the last year and a half, and to see them put out the information that I give them is so rewarding. And it's like, wow, I actually did my job to provide them with, as I told you, the best information possible, just for our residents and for them also.
Well, thank you very much for that information.
Yeah.
Actually, one of our literally our very next question was, did you go to college, and what major did you take in, and what led you down that career path? Which I feel that you've answered very thoroughly, but specifically, why did you go in for biology?
So I went to, in high school, I had some chemistry classes and anatomy classes, and I was like, wow, this is very interesting. I still always had that interpersonal communication.
Science.
Yes, that's how it was. So I was like, wow, I really thought that my path would take me in the medical field, whether it was a nurse or even in pharmacy, to be able to still have that love for science and medicine, but also having the people skills to work with people every day to provide them with critical care, or providing them just that information with being a pharmacist. So I decided to major in pharmacy and biology, and had aspirations of being a pharmacist. So when I got to LSU, of course they don't have a pharmacy program, so it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to transfer. And in the meantime, I competed in actually a pageant, and from there I had this experience that kind of led me to realizing that I kind of gave up on my dream of being a news reporter, and it really made me think deep at a very young age that this is going to be my career, and I can't go off of at the moment, but really truly following my dreams. So that shifted me to change my major to communications, and I graduated from LSU with a degree in communication studies. So I actually have a degree in studying the forms of communication.
You know, even though it wasn't the career path that you went with, I can totally absolutely see you being like a pharmacist, or like a family or kids, and it's like, all right guys, you were very nice and polite, so you guys get to have a sucker.
That was my goal. That's what I was going for. That's definitely what I was going for.
I can absolutely see you doing that 100%. You're way too personable to not be something along those lines.
And you know, it's funny you bring that up, because as you may know, why it struck me to do that, because sometimes we don't get that from a nurse or from a pharmacist.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be somewhat different. I was like, wow, I want to have a relationship with my patients or my customers. So I wanted to kind of like, wow, I want to bring my personality into that career. So
a lot more actual care and love for what you do and the people that you help.
Yeah, and not speaking like in some situations that is, but yes.
Anyways, moving on. So
Yes.
obviously you play a huge role in the part of Plaquemines Parish government, obviously. Would you like to eventually like move up in your career, or are you content with your position now?
I think I'm a small person surrounded by amazing individuals around me every day that bring out the best in me, and I hope that I bring out the best in them. So I would love to move, necessarily not move up, but move in a different platform in my career, possibly. Whatever that may be, I do not know where that may take me, but I definitely see me staying in the role of public relations and or public information. Definitely. That's where I'm gonna live for a long time.
Exploring the unknown sounds exciting.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's very nice that you could tell us that, honestly, a little bit heartwarming. I think you'd be absolutely wonderful at whatever you do, especially since you're a personable person. It goes a long way for being able to talk and communicate with people. You know, we learned that you are actually a former Orange Fest queen, and in one of the episodes of The Buzz, we actually had the honor of having the current Orange Fest queen, Catherine Wooten, on the show. She was amazing. It was a lovely, lovely interview. I enjoyed talking with her for all that time. It was a wonderful experience. And speaking of the event that changed your perspective and gave you the confidence to go after your dreams, did the experience of being the Orange Fest Queen actually help you in your career choice?
Absolutely. I credit a lot of the knowledge and the confidence that I have today to that experience of being Orange Queen. I do believe that some people don't understand the role of Orange Queen.
Yes.
They think it may be just this one night or these multiple small little events, but it's a whole year that
It's way more complicated
way
than
more
you think.
absolutely it is. It's way more in depth and has a lot of concept and just a lot behind it, and
A lot of meaning. And
yes,
effect.
absolutely. It's very much an investment, not only of your time, but who you are as a person and your personality. And you learn a lot about yourself. I know I did that year of my life, and that definitely, if I'm not saying if it where I would be without it, but I do believe that it gave me the nudge and kind of like that God moment, and definitely the tap on the shoulder, like, hey, you can do anything that you put your mind to. But it definitely gave me the confidence I needed.
That's awesome. Super uplifting, underdog story kind of thing. You know, going on to a more cutesy, fun question. What's one of your favorite things about Plaquemines Parish? I mean, I know there's a very tough question since there's just so many amazing, wonderful things to do here. I mean, you can't possibly pick your favorite, but go ahead and pick your favorite.
So I actually wouldn't say it's necessarily an actual like noun. I kind of look at it as like an idea. I think my favorite thing about Plaquemines Parish is definitely the potential of Plaquemines Parish. That's what I think. I think for me to come back here and invest in my community, there is so much as the tangible, but I think of it as the intangible, as the potential that this place has. So I think that's really what my favorite thing is about.
Yeah, you know what? Absolutely.
About this wonderful place that we get to call home.
Look,
so.
even Liaya here, just a small organization that's been around, all the problems and the things that we've triumphed over are an example of just the potential that these people who live in our parish have. Not to mention, we're very, very personable people down here. We have problems and situations that we unite under and try and rally against to keep people united and connected in these times. Try and create understanding in our communities, and well, we have to thank our community for keeping Liaya an organization in existence. Without them, we wouldn't be around.
Absolutely. So.
You know, I just have one last question, and this is a question that we ask all of our guests on the show. I'm sure you know that. If you could go back in time to when you were 16 and give yourself one piece of advice, what advice would you give yourself?
I would say continue to think outside of the box. Definitely at the age of 16, you don't know yourself. You think you do, but you don't. But I do believe at the age of 16, I kept thinking outside of the box on, I wanted to be different, and I think I would tell myself, don't forget that. Continue to have that's been instilled in you.
That
But
drive.
yes, continue to think outside the box is definitely what I still tell myself that today, but definitely I would tell my 16-year-old self to think outside the box. So be different. I dare you to be different.
That's super wholesome, and I want to thank you very much for that answer. Honestly, we have a lot of interesting answers on the show, and that's probably one of my favorites so far.
Thank you, Jackson.
It's out there. You're welcome. And just before we go, I want to thank you so much, everyone here at Leia, and especially the Buzz. I'd like to thank you so much for coming on the show for the interview. We know just how busy you are, especially in recent years with the whole situation, global pandemic, and everything that's going on. How big and stressful of a job it must be for you as a, media officer. But I just want to show my appreciation for you coming on the show. It's been a wonder talking to you, and I would hope that you come back again for another interview.
I definitely will be back. Thank you guys so much for welcoming me into y'all's home, and I definitely will be back. Thank you so much, Jackson. This has been awesome.
We're glad you feel welcome.
Yes, I definitely do.
Come back anytime. This member's artwork spotlight goes to Jacqueline Leo, a creative writing member and peer advisor. She's also a member of the music department, which I'm in.
Nice. She's been a member of Leia for 5 years. She's also often contributes to helping backstage work, working sound and lighting during theater productions.
Man, it's already been that long? Well, we can all say that we are all very thankful for the help Jackie has provided us. This is her poem, A Modern Woman, circa 1874.
Ooh, I have a really good feeling that I'm going to enjoy it.
Her gown is pink, and a neckline dips below her collarbone. She has no sleeves to allow for better movement while dancing. The ruffles are reminiscent of her childhood. Her hair is pulled back low, loose, so that maybe a strand will fall down once she dances. Before she leaves, she kisses a mirror, leaving the mark of her pink lipstick, almost too light to notice.
Sounds like an interesting beginning of a story. I'm already wanting to read it.
Honestly, pretty intriguing.
Thanks, Jackie, for your poem. Your work is awesome, and we can't wait to hear more.
We definitely will be spotlighting more on the Buzz. Up next is Toby's Friends.
Hi everyone, it's Megan here with another adoptable pet of the week. This week's pet is Kiwi. Kiwi is a 3-year-old French Bulldog Terrier mix. She is loyal and loves to snuggle and play. She is up to date on all of her shots and would do well in a home with other dogs, but she really doesn't like cats. She has some separation anxiety, but if you exercise with her before you leave, she'd be just fine. If you're interested in adopting Kiwi, you can check her out at takepausrescue.org, and keep in mind that you can check out Take Paws Rescue on Facebook for awesome upcoming adoption events.